What's up, everyone? I am TokuTylor, and today we will be talking episode 3 of Lupinranger vs Patoranger. In my opinion, this was a pretty good episode. I liked it. We got some character development with one of the characters, and it's nice to see early on, so it's very, very good. So jumping right into it, we pick up where we left off with the Patorangers entering the Lupinrangers bistro, face to face, both teams. And as we see Pato and Ichigo go for his versus changer, he raises his hand and says, "Lunch for 3." They're there for lunch, as I pretty much guessed. So, anyway, they sit down, Toma gives them the menus, and he tries to take Pato and Nico's changer, but Red stops him quickly before he does something stupid. But yeah, they're pieces of the collection, and Toma wants to get all the pieces as quickly as possible, as we find out in this episode. But yeah, and soon after that, the Patorangers are called into the base, or called to an emergency, so they have to leave early. And then out of nowhere, Kogure, the butler, mysteriously shows up afterwards and gives them their next target, as well as grabbing the previous piece of the collection that they got in the last episode. But yeah, really cool. And the Lupin Rangers ask him about the Patorangers having collection pieces, but he doesn't really answer them. He says he's looking into it, but I don't really trust Kogure at this point. We then go back to the Patorangers facing off a Gangler who's using a statue-type item to make sculptures out of buildings, turning it into a statue of the Gangler boss, which is it's a big one. It's a big statue of him, which is I don't see how that's taking over the human world, but whatever. And then the Patorangers, they change into their suits, and then they charge in first. And then the opening plays, and I have to say, the opening song is fantastic. I really enjoy it. I keep listening to it over and over again. I really enjoy it. It's the two songs overlaying each other. One about the Patorangers, one about the Lupin Rangers, but they kind of like work together. I love it. It's really cool. So after the opening, we go back to the Lupin Rangers showing up next to the Gangler fight, and we see the Gangler shoot this goo everywhere, and then Nigo gets stuck. Lupin Blue takes advantage of the situation and tries to take back the VS changer again, but Pater and Sango basically kicks his butt and steals it back, meaning it's probably not going to be easy to get the changers back from them, but And as a result, as usual, the Gangler gets away, and we see that Toma is still mad about the Patorangers having pieces of the collection, and how it would just be simple if he could just take them back by force. He's in a rush. He wants to complete the collection quickly so he can get his wish granted, basically. And then out of nowhere, Good Striker shows up and knocks out Kairi. I love that part. That was just really funny. I love Good Striker so far. He's so fun. And then we go to the Gangler base, and the Gangler boss, Dogranio, talks about the current Gangler's methods and how it's important and all that. I don't know. We don't really get to see much of these guys' plans that often. He's just making sculptures. I don't know. But he's an art sort of Gangler, like he's a forger. I don't know. But anyway, and then we go to Toma, who is trying to break into the Patoranger base. We see the moment he proposed to his fiancée, Aya, and the moment she was frozen as well. So before he puts on his mask and everything, Kairi stops him and says if he gets caught, then it's 3 against 2, basically. If Toma gets caught, he could, possibly ruin the entire plan, and all the Lupin Rangers could, lose. And then their wish would never get granted, and then the Ganglers would probably, have more control of the Lupin collection, So what will they do then? So Kairi tricks the Patorangers into the Gangler's trap, because he heard something the Gangler said earlier, and he figured he would try a new plan. And it works. He makes a fake phone call to the Patorangers, and they go running to where the Gangler is, in this abandoned art warehouse. And before they leave, Commissioner Hilltop has a talk with Sakuya, uh, Patoranger, about giving his all this time and don't get discouraged, basically. So we go to the warehouse where the Gangler is, waiting for them, and the Patorangers fall for the trap and get stuck in more of the goo. The Gangler then thinks he has won by trapping the Patorangers, but the Lupinrangers jump in and start fighting the Gangler. And I have to say, I'm really liking the foot soldiers, the portermen. They just have an interesting design. I think I really like them. I've never really been a fan of foot soldiers that much recently, but I mean, Kyuranger had interesting ones, I guess, but I like the Porterman. I just wanted to say that real quick. And then we get some really cool action scenes with the Lupin Rangers, and then they face off against the Gangler, and they snatch the collection item, the little statue thing, which I think is really cool. Like I said, I'm very interested in the collection items themselves. So we go back to the Patorangers, trapped, and Patoran Ichigo is just, he's really funny. I know he's supposed to be like a serious cop sort of guy, but he's face down with his butt in the air. I think it's so funny. And then Patoranigo remembers what Commissioner Hilltop told him, and he breaks free from the goo. And then frees Patoran Ichigo, and then somehow they almost forget Sango, which is funny. I mean, the Patorangers are starting to be very funny. I feel like they're going to be a comedic relief for a little while until we get more on their story as well, which I think we're going to get more on Pink in the next episode, but we'll see, like I said. And then we go to the Lupin Rangers, getting ready to use Good Striker, and instead of fusing, Lupin Red multiplies into 3 Lupin Reds, which I think is really cool. How the Patorangers unite, and then the Lupin Rangers multiply. I think it's interesting. I definitely like the uniting one better. I don't know, just that suit looked interesting to me, but multiple Lupin Reds is cool too. Then the 3 Reds freak out along with the other 2 Lupin Rangers, and then they get serious, and we get this really cool finisher, the Seizing Strike, just an all-out destruction wave obliterating the Gangler. I love it. And after the Gangler's defeated, the Lupin Rangers start talking about Kogure, and then Good Striker freaks out about Kogure's name, and he runs away right into the Patorangers again. So it seems like even Good Striker doesn't trust Kogure at this point, so maybe I'm right. Who knows? But then Goshu, the female Gangler, shows up to revive the Gangler of the week, and the Patorangers launch their vehicles, including Good Striker, making the Pato Kaiser. I have to say, it definitely looks better than the toy version. The head is more proportionate to the body. It actually looks like a helmet, like an actual robot head, whereas the toy has just like a small head hidden underneath like this giant vehicle part, but what can you do, And then for obvious reasons, the fight scene gives me some Deca Ranger vibes, because, it's a police mech and all that, but it's really cool. And then, as they're fighting the Gangler and everything, there's a funny moment after the Gangler destroys that statue, and one of the Ganglers says, "At least the feet are still there," because all that's left are the feet of the statue, which I just thought that was just a little awkward moment, like they were just silent for a few seconds. It was funny. But anyway, the Patorangers give it one big strike and defeat the Gangler. As usual. And then the Good Striker puppet pops out with a little police hat. I like that, because he had a top hat in the Lupin Kaiser. Now in Pato Kaiser's got a police hat, and it's really cool. And he just says goodbye, and he deconstructs the mech and just runs away again. I don't know where he's going. I don't know where he comes from, but anyway. Kogure, we go back to the bistro, and Kogure talks about how Good Striker has always been a difficult item to handle in the collection, but, And then, once again, the Patorangers arrive at the bistro, but this time Toma isn't planning to, take their changes or anything, so it's better. He learned his lesson, I guess. But then, out of nowhere, Sakuya, Patoranger, tells Umika Lupin Yellow that she's cute and he wants to know her name. Like, that was fun. And then as the the Patorangers are, you know, apologizing for his actions and stuff, Toma and Kairi are in the kitchen, and I love that Toma is joking about putting laxatives in their food. I like Toma, I really do. And as for my final thoughts on the episode, it was a great episode. Once again, it was very good. We got some character development early on, so I like that. And this was definitely a Lupin Blue episode, because the focusing on Toma and how he, wanted to finish the collection. I mean, he still does, but but as for Toma, I didn't really like him until now. Like I thought he was just gonna be like super serious, and I'm not really into those kind of characters. But he's cool. I like him. He definitely has the backstory of a serious person, but really cool. So yeah, I really really liked it. Also, Keiichiro, Patoran Ichigo is probably my favorite of the Patorangers. He's just so funny, and he's just, I don't know, I love his personality. I really do. He's definitely my favorite Patoranger so far. So yeah, altogether, like I said, another great episode. I really like the series so far. Very 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 good. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.